Alabama's gun laws reflect a strong commitment to Second Amendment rights, striking a balance between accessibility and regulation. The state permits open carry without a license and recently adopted constitutional carry, allowing residents to carry concealed firearms without a permit. While generally permissive, certain restrictions, such as on armor-piercing ammunition and private property policies, remind us that no state is entirely free from regulation. For gun owners, Alabama's laws sit firmly on the side of individual freedom, but they also highlight the importance of vigilance to protect those freedoms from potential overreach. Here's a quick overview of Alabama's gun owner demographics. We hope this video provides valuable insights, and if you found it helpful, please share it with a friend. 1. Alabama gun law basics. Here are the basics when it comes to gun laws. According to Alabama's state constitution, every citizen has a fundamental right to bear arms in defense of himself or herself and the state. Any restriction on this right shall be subject to strict scrutiny. In essence, Alabama is a constitutional carry state, standing on the criteria that the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution is adequate and absolute in giving law-abiding Americans the right to carry firearms. No state permit is required to possess a rifle, shotgun, or handgun. Moreover, open carry is also lawful in Alabama without a permit. Any person who is at least 19 years old and legally entitled to carry a firearm can open carry a firearm in the state of Alabama as long as the handgun is secured in a holster. As required by federal law, those under the age of 18 are prohibited from purchasing a long rifle from a licensed gun dealer and must wait until the age of 21 to buy a handgun from a licensed gun dealer. Alabama does not mandate a minimum age for the private sale and private purchase of firearms. Minors are allowed to possess firearms with permission from parents or guardians when hunting or fishing with a valid license, or as a member of the armed forces acting in the line of duty, or attending a firearms safety course. Permits are not required when buying a handgun. There is no firearms registration in Alabama, and no background check is required when buying a handgun from a private individual. There is also no mandatory waiting period for handgun purchases. Last but not least, Alabama law also prohibits a governmental entity or employee from knowingly keeping or causing a list, record, or registry of gun owners unless it's part of a criminal investigation or prosecution. 2. Concealed carry permit. In 2022, Alabama enacted permitless carry by repealing a long-standing prohibition on carrying a concealed handgun in public without a permit subject to a background check. As of January 1st, 2023, anyone age 18 or over who is not prohibited by state or federal law may carry a handgun in the state without a permit, background check, or safety training. But we want to highlight just one stipulation. Alabama has maintained its concealed carry permit system for individuals who wish to carry their firearms to other states with reciprocity agreements. Alabama law generally requires that permits are issued to people who meet the necessary requirements, meaning that a sheriff of a county must issue a concealed handgun license to an applicant who is 19 years of age or older who is not prohibited to do so. Additionally, Alabama honors all out-of-state concealed carry permits, no matter the age. 3. Magazine and ammo rules. Alabama's decision not to impose magazine capacity limits is a welcome relief for gun owners who rely on their firearms for defense, sport, and hunting. However, the ban on armor-piercing ammunition is a double-edged sword. While it may seem reasonable to some, it establishes a framework for restricting other types of ammunition in the future. Gun owners must question the necessity of such bans and push back against any efforts to expand them under the pretext of public safety. The ability to choose the tools we need for self-defense should never be compromised. 4. Assault weapon. Alabama has no state law defining or regulating assault weapons or large capacity magazines. It does not specifically regulate machine guns as a class of firearm. However, it is a felony to possess, obtain, receive, sell, or use a short-barreled rifle or a short-barreled shotgun. 5. Lifetime gun permits and privacy. Responsible Alabama gun owners who already have a permit can apply for a lifetime permit in their county of residence. A sheriff may require an applicant for a lifetime carry permit to possess a valid concealed carry permit for not more than 5 consecutive years prior to approving the application. And in terms of privacy, we applaud Alabama's law prohibiting the government from keeping a registry or privately owned firearms or database of lawful gun owners. On the other hand, Alabama does have a firearms prohibited person database that law enforcement agencies use to verify if someone is allowed to possess a firearm on people who are prohibited from receiving firearms by federal or state law. 6. Prohibited person. In Alabama, you must be at least 18 years old to purchase a shotgun or rifle, and you must be at least 19 to own a pistol. Other disqualifications apply to felons, some misdemeanor convictions, those considered mentally incompetent, illegal immigrants, dishonorable military discharge, and individuals convicted of drug-related charges. 7. Firearm transfers and private sales. Private firearm sales and transfers are lawful in Alabama, and they are permitted without the need for background checks to anyone over the age of 18 years old. Moreover, there are not waiting periods for gun sales in Alabama. You do not have to register the gun before you sell it, and there aren't any record-keeping requirements for the transaction, like a bill of sales. 8. Public space restriction. Firearms are prohibited in certain public spaces such as courthouses, police stations, airports, and demonstrations. Firearms are also prohibited in facilities hosting athletic events. We highly encourage you to do your due diligence on the full list of restricted areas in the public domain. Additionally, for tribal land, wildlife areas, and national parks, it is against the law to possess a firearm without a valid permit. You should research the reservation or park that you plan to visit to see what places are off limits. 9. Brandishing laws. Alabama's lack of a specific brandishing law is a relief for gun owners concerned about subjective interpretations of threatening behavior. However, the potential for criminal charges based on perceived recklessness remains a gray area. Clear, objective definitions are essential to prevent lawful gun owners from being unfairly targeted. This law highlights the need for ongoing dialogue to ensure that regulations are fair and do not leave room for abuse. 10. Red flag protection. The absence of red flag laws in Alabama is a critical safeguard against government overreach. While these laws are often marketed as common sense, they can be easily abused to disarm law-abiding citizens based on unverified accusations. Alabama's preemption laws further protect gun owners by ensuring that local governments cannot impose their own restrictions. These protections are vital and must be defended against future challenges that seek to undermine them. 11. Handgun purchase and possession. Alabama's straightforward process for purchasing handguns respects the rights of responsible citizens. However, the lack of a background check requirement for private sales has drawn criticism from gun control advocates. Gun owners should be wary of calls for universal background checks, which often serve as a stepping stone to registration and confiscation. Protecting the private sale process is essential to preserving our freedoms. 12. Reciprocity agreements. Alabama has a strong reciprocity policy honoring concealed carry permits from all 50 states, making it a welcoming state for responsible gun owners traveling from across the country. Additionally, Alabama residents benefit from reciprocity agreements with many states, allowing them to carry firearms in those jurisdictions, provided they adhere to local laws. While permitless carry is recognized in several states, others impose specific restrictions such as age limits or resident-only policies. Gun owners traveling to or from Alabama should always verify the firearm laws of their destination to ensure compliance and avoid potential legal issues. Here is the concealed carry reciprocity map that shows the states that honors Alabama's gun permits. "13. Inform and database rules. The duty to inform law enforcement of concealed carry status is a reasonable requirement, but it raises concerns about potential misunderstandings during interactions. Similarly, the Firearm Prohibited Person database, while intended for safety, creates a centralized system that could be misused in the future. Gun owners must scrutinize these measures, ensuring they do not become tools for government overreach. Alabama's gun laws reflect a strong commitment to the Second Amendment, but no law is immune to change. For gun owners, vigilance is not optional, it's a responsibility. Every restriction, no matter how small, could pave the way for broader limitations. By staying informed and united, we can ensure that our freedoms remain intact for generations to come. 14. Pepper spray laws. Pepper spray laws in Alabama are less restrictive than firearm laws, but the severe penalties for misuse highlight a troubling trend. Overregulation of defensive tools often begins with small, seemingly innocuous rules that later expand into broader restrictions. If misuse of pepper spray can result in felony charges, what's to stop lawmakers from applying similar penalties to firearms? Gun owners must remain vigilant, ensuring that these laws don't set a precedent for overly harsh regulations on other self-defense tools. 15. Tasers and stun guns. Tasers and stun guns are generally unrestricted in Alabama, yet local ordinances in cities like Mobile and Montgomery create concerning exceptions. These localized rules may seem minor, but they set a dangerous precedent. Once one city imposes restrictions, others often follow. This patchwork approach complicates the lives of law-abiding citizens and paves the way for broader, more sweeping regulations. Gun owners should pay close attention to these developments, recognizing that today's minor restriction could be tomorrow's statewide ban. Castle Doctrine and Stand Your Ground laws. Alabama has strong castle doctrine and stand your ground laws, allowing individuals to use deadly force in defense of their home, vehicle, or workplace without a duty to retreat. These laws assume that if someone unlawfully enters your property, they intend to cause harm, providing individuals with broad protections when acting in self-defense. However, the burden often lies on the defender to prove that the use of force was justified under the circumstances. Transporting firearms. Firearms may be transported in vehicles if they are unloaded and securely encased, such as in a locked container. Concealed carry in vehicles is allowed without a permit under constitutional carry provisions. However, individuals must ensure compliance with specific regulations when traveling across state lines, as other states may have stricter firearm transportation laws. Self-defense. Alabama's self-defense laws permit the use of deadly force when an individual reasonably believes it is necessary to prevent death, serious bodily harm, or certain violent crimes. Self-defense protections also apply to defending others who face an immediate threat of harm. However, the use of force must be proportional to the threat. Excessive force or actions taken after the threat has been neutralized may result in criminal charges or civil liability. Firearms and domestic violence. Federal laws prohibit individuals convicted of domestic violence or individuals subject to restraining orders from owning firearms. Alabama enforces these federal standards but does not have additional state-level measures. Firearm storage laws. Alabama does not have specific firearm storage laws, but encourages safe storage practices to prevent accidents or unauthorized access, particularly by minors. As responsible gun owners, our goal is to make our homes, our communities, and America a safer place to live in. We have 3 questions to test your understanding of Alabama's gun laws and how they apply in real-world scenarios. Question 1. How does Alabama's constitutional carry impact public safety and individual responsibility? Question 2. What are the risks of allowing private firearm sales without background checks? Question 3. What should out-of-state gun owners know about Alabama's reciprocity agreements? If you value these discussions, like, subscribe, and share this video. Together we can defend our rights and protect the principles that make this country great. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.